For centuries, the realms of science and religion have been seen as opposing forces, locked in a perpetual struggle over how to explain the mysteries of existence. Science, rooted in observation and experimentation, has sought to uncover the laws governing the natural world. Religion, on the other hand, has offered explanations grounded in faith, often attributing the universe's complexity and order to a divine creator. But what if these two perspectives aren't as opposed as they seem? What if modern scientific discoveries are, in their own way, leading us closer to the concept of God? This video explores the intriguing convergence between traditional scientific ground and emerging theories that hint at a deeper, universal consciousness. From the mysteries of quantum mechanics to the concept of a holographic universe, modern science is challenging its own boundaries. The deterministic universe envisioned by Newtonian physics has given way to a reality shaped by uncertainty, interconnectedness, and the observer's influence, elements that resonate with ancient spiritual teachings about a governing cosmic mind. Are these new discoveries evidence of a universal consciousness, a cosmic intelligence that not only governs the universe but also transcends it? Or are they simply a reinterpretation of natural laws? As we delve into this fascinating intersection of science and spirituality, we will question whether humanity is on the brink of rediscovering, through the lens of science, the divine essence it has long sought to understand. Could it be that science is not disproving God, but instead unwittingly uncovering the very fabric of the divine? As we journey through the history of science, it becomes evident that some of the greatest minds in human history were not only scholars of the natural world, but also individuals who deeply believed in God. These scientists, driven by their pursuit of knowledge, often saw their work as a way to understand and uncover the divine order of the universe. For them, science and faith were not mutually exclusive, but complementary forces. So let's take a moment to reflect on some of these brilliant figures who acknowledged the presence of God in their work and worldview. Take Isaac Newton, for example, often hailed as the father of modern physics. Newton's contributions to the laws of motion and universal gravitation transformed our understanding of the universe. Yet, Newton himself was deeply religious. He believed that God had created a perfectly ordered universe with laws that could be uncovered through human reason. His scientific work was, in his mind, a way to understand God's plan. Newton spent as much time studying theology as he did studying the natural world, often writing more on religious topics than on science. To Newton, the beauty and precision of the universe were evidence of a divine creator. Then there is Johannes Kepler, the mathematician and astronomer who formulated the laws of planetary motion. Kepler was profoundly religious, and he saw his work as uncovering the harmony and geometry that God had placed in the heavens. He famously wrote, "The chief aim of all investigations of the external world should be to discover the rational order and harmony which has been imposed on it by God." Kepler believed that the universe was a divine creation, and his scientific discoveries were a way of exploring God's mind. Galileo Galilei, another titan of science, also saw no contradiction between his belief in God and his scientific work. Galileo is best known for his support of the Copernican model of the solar system, which placed the sun at the center, a view that was controversial at the time. Despite the tension between science and religion in his day, Galileo was devout. He wrote extensively about his belief that science was a means of understanding the magnificence of God's creation. Galileo saw no conflict between his faith and his work. Rather, he believed that both were in pursuit of truth, and that the study of nature revealed the glory of God. Another notable figure is Albert Einstein, whose theories of relativity revolutionized our understanding of space-time and gravity. Einstein, while not religious in the traditional sense, acknowledged a sense of awe and reverence for the mysteries of the universe. He famously spoke of a cosmic religious feeling and expressed admiration for the universe's order and harmony. Although he rejected a personal God in the conventional sense, Einstein often referred to the Spirit of God when speaking about the deep, underlying order of the cosmos. For him, the complexity and beauty of the universe pointed to a greater intelligence, a cosmic consciousness that transcended human understanding. Then we have Michael Faraday, a pioneering chemist and physicist whose discoveries in electromagnetism and electrochemistry laid the groundwork for many modern technological advancements. Faraday was deeply religious, and his faith shaped both his personal life and his scientific work. Faraday saw his research as a way of gaining a deeper understanding of God's creation. He once said, "The book of nature is written by the finger of God, and all science is but an effort to read that book." Faraday's humility and reverence for nature reflected his belief that science and faith were not opposites, but two pathways leading to the same truth. In more recent times, Francis Collins, the physician-geneticist known for his leadership of the Human Genome Project, has openly acknowledged his Christian faith. Collins was initially an atheist, but after years of studying science and reflecting on the complexity of life, he became a believer in God. He has written about his journey in his book, The Language of God, where he describes how the awe of discovering the human genome led him to embrace a belief in a higher power. Collins argues that science and faith can coexist harmoniously, and he views his scientific work as a way of exploring the intricacies of God's creation. These figures represent just a few of the many scientists throughout history who have recognized the presence of God in their work. What's striking about their stories is not just their groundbreaking discoveries, but their shared belief that science is not about replacing God, but understanding the intricate design of the universe that they believed He created. Their work wasn't just an intellectual pursuit. It was an act of devotion, a way of uncovering the divine order that governs everything from the tiniest particle to the vastness of the cosmos. What we can learn from these scientists is that the pursuit of knowledge, whether through the lens of physics, biology, or astronomy, does not necessarily require abandoning faith in a higher power. In fact, for many of these thinkers, their belief in God was not a hindrance to their scientific work, but rather a motivating force. They saw their discoveries as part of a greater, divine plan, an unfolding mystery that science could help reveal. Perhaps in that light, science and God are not so far apart after all. It's fascinating how the scientific community, which once saw no conflict between the pursuit of knowledge and belief in God, has shifted in its stance over the centuries. In the early days of science, many great thinkers, such as Newton and Kepler, viewed their work as a way to uncover the divine order of the universe. But as science progressed, something changed. By the 19th and 20th centuries, a clear division began to form. The more science uncovered, the more it seemed to push the need for a divine explanation into the background. This shift has only intensified in recent decades, leading to a growing hostility towards anything related to the existence of God. The rise of scientific naturalism, the idea that everything can be explained by natural laws and processes, played a key role in this. As Darwin's theory of evolution, the discovery of the laws of physics, and later, quantum mechanics and cosmology, provided detailed explanations of how the universe operates. Many scientists began to argue that the universe may be governed by a higher consciousness, one that transcends the physical realm. And yet, the more science explores, particularly the realm of quantum mechanics, the more it seems as if the universe itself is not as inert and mechanical as once thought. There's an undeniable sense of order, intelligence, and interconnectedness in the laws that govern everything from the tiniest particle to the vastness of the cosmos. And this is where we arrive at a concept that's been gaining traction: the cosmic consciousness. This idea is not new. These terms, which might seem strange to the scientific community, are strikingly similar to descriptions of God in religious traditions. Take a moment to consider the religious definition of God: an eternal, omnipotent, omniscient being who is the creator and sustainer of the universe. God is not bound by time, space, or human understanding. And yet, God is often depicted as deeply personal, someone with whom believers can have a relationship. God is love, justice, mercy, and the ultimate source of meaning in life. This being is often seen as the force that governs everything, from the smallest details of existence to the grand cosmic structures. Now, isn't this interesting? When we put these definitions side by side, there is a striking resemblance. The cosmic consciousness described by quantum physicists and other scientists is not a far cry from the religious concept of God. It is an intelligence that governs the universe, that organizes it, that shapes its evolution, and that permeates everything. It is not a distant, impersonal force, but a fundamental aspect of reality itself. Could it be that the scientific community, in its rejection of the traditional concept of God, is unknowingly describing the very same thing? Albeit through a different lens, let's consider the implications of this idea. If the universe is imbued with a cosmic consciousness, then the laws that govern it are not mere mechanical processes, but expressions of a deeper intelligence, a mind behind the cosmos. The interconnectedness of everything, the delicate balance of forces, the fine-tuning of the constants of physics, all of these could be seen as reflections of a universal mind at work. Just as religions have long described God as the architect and sustainer of the universe, so too might the cosmic consciousness be the guiding force behind everything we observe. And in this light, the theories of quantum mechanics, with their strange, almost mystical properties, may not be pointing us toward randomness or chance, but rather to a deeper, more profound order, one that reflects a divine intelligence. What does this mean for science? If science can begin to acknowledge the possibility of a cosmic consciousness, it could open up entirely new avenues of exploration. Rather than seeing the universe as a vast, impersonal machine operating according to rigid laws, we could begin to see it as a living, dynamic system, guided by a consciousness that transcends individual minds. This doesn't mean that science should abandon its methods or its commitment to empirical evidence, but rather that it should expand its view of reality. Perhaps, in recognizing the cosmic mind, science would not only find new ways to explain the universe, but also discover a deeper, more unified understanding of existence. And here's the ultimate irony. By embracing the idea of a cosmic consciousness, science may very well be rediscovering God, not as some archaic concept, but as a fundamental, integral part of reality itself. Whether we call it God, universal mind, or cosmic consciousness, it seems we're all talking about the same thing. This shift in perspective may not only be the next step in the evolution of science, but could also lead to a profound spiritual awakening. A recognition that the universe, in all its complexity and beauty, is not a mere accident, but the expression of an intelligence that permeates everything. The question is no longer whether God exists, but rather, how do we begin to comprehend the divine intelligence that has shaped the cosmos and everything within it? It's astonishing, isn't it? For centuries, science has relentlessly pursued understanding the universe as a series of impersonal, mechanistic processes. We've measured, calculated, and observed the outer workings of the cosmos, from the behavior of subatomic particles to the vastness of galaxies. Yet, despite all these advances, something has always been missing. There are questions that traditional science cannot answer. How did the laws of nature come to be? Why does the universe seem so fine-tuned for life? Where does consciousness come from? These are fundamental questions, ones that science, at least in its traditional form, has often skirted around. But now, something is changing. We find ourselves at a crossroads where new scientific theories are offering insights that seem to merge the ancient mysteries of consciousness with cutting-edge physics. It's almost as if we've come full circle, rediscovering the notion that the universe, rather than being a soulless, impersonal machine, is in fact imbued with intelligence and consciousness. It's a radical shift, and it all seems to point us toward one concept, the universal mind or cosmic consciousness. Let's talk about this concept because it's not just a spiritual or philosophical idea anymore. It's becoming increasingly relevant in modern science, especially in quantum mechanics. One of the most profound shifts in modern physics is the holographic principle. This theory suggests that the entire universe can be seen as a kind of hologram, where all the information about the universe is encoded on a two-dimensional surface, yet it is experienced as three-dimensional. It's as if our entire reality is an illusion projected from a deeper, more fundamental level. This idea was initially proposed to solve the black hole information paradox, but it also resonates with some of the oldest spiritual perspectives on the nature of the universe. It aligns with the idea that the cosmos is interconnected, unified, and ultimately governed by a higher intelligence, a cosmic consciousness. And this is where things start to get interesting. The holographic principle implies that everything in the universe, including us, is part of a grander, unified field. Everything is interconnected, and there's a deeper layer of reality that is beyond the physical dimensions we experience. Could this deeper layer be a kind of cosmic consciousness? A universal mind that encodes all information and governs the laws of nature? The holographic principle opens up the possibility that what we perceive as individual objects and events may, in fact, be expressions of a deeper, all-encompassing consciousness. Now, let's consider panpsychism, another theory that's gaining traction in scientific circles. Panpsychism suggests that consciousness is not an emergent property of complex organisms, as we once thought, but is instead a fundamental feature of the universe itself. From atoms to galaxies, consciousness is woven into the very fabric of reality. The great British physicist Sir James Jeans was one of the early proponents of this idea, and more recently, philosophers like David Chalmers and Galen Strawson have argued that consciousness is a ubiquitous property of all matter. According to this view, the universe is not merely a collection of particles and forces, but a vast living network of conscious entities. What does this mean for our understanding of the cosmos? If panpsychism is true, it suggests that the laws of the universe aren't just mechanical rules, but expressions of a universal mind, a cosmic consciousness that governs all interactions. The universe is not just a giant clock ticking away. It's a conscious, interconnected system where every particle, every atom, every galaxy is infused with some level of awareness. This idea mirrors ancient spiritual beliefs, which saw the universe as a living, conscious being, not a dead, impersonal machine. But this isn't just philosophical speculation. The intersection of quantum mechanics and consciousness is increasingly being explored in modern science. One of the most fascinating theories in this regard is quantum consciousness. This theory, developed by physicists like Roger Penrose and Stuart Hameroff, suggests that consciousness arises from quantum processes occurring within the microtubules in our brain. These microtubules are tiny, intricate structures within our cells that are thought to be involved in various aspects of cognition. According to the orchestrated objective reduction theory, quantum effects within these microtubules could be the key to understanding how consciousness emerges. What's truly intriguing about this theory is that Penrose and Hameroff suggest these quantum processes are not confined to the brain, but may be linked to a larger cosmic consciousness. This implies that our individual consciousness is not separate from the universe, but connected to a larger, universal mind that influences the behavior of particles, governs the laws of physics, and shapes the entire cosmos. It's as if our minds are tapping into a vast, quantum network of awareness that stretches beyond space and time. A universal mind that exists in parallel with the physical universe. But let's take a step back and think about what this means for the universe itself. If consciousness is a fundamental feature of reality, if it is woven into the very fabric of the cosmos, it raises profound questions about the nature of existence. What if the universe isn't just a set of physical laws, but a living, conscious entity? What if the laws of physics are not just impersonal rules, but the expressions of a deeper, universal mind that is shaping the evolution of the cosmos? This idea isn't far-fetched. It's gaining more ground as physicists explore the connections between quantum theory and consciousness. In fact, the concept of a field of consciousness is gaining traction in quantum field theory, which describes the universe as being composed of various fields, electromagnetic, gravitational, and so on, has led some physicists to propose that the underlying fields of the universe are not just physical, but also conscious. What if the quantum fields are the carriers of a cosmic consciousness, with particles and energies being manifestations of this greater awareness? The fields that we thought were just carriers of physical energy might actually be the vessels of the universal mind that governs the cosmos. Take the recent discoveries in zero-point energy, for example. This mysterious field of potential energy exists even in a vacuum, and physicists like Ervin Laszlo have linked it to the concept of the Akashic field, a universal, non-material realm of consciousness that contains all knowledge of the past, present, and future. Laszlo has argued that this field is the medium through which consciousness interacts with matter. The Akashic field is essentially a universal memory, a repository of all information that governs the laws of nature. If this field exists, it suggests that the universe is not random, but highly organized, governed by a deep, underlying intelligence, a cosmic mind that shapes and sustains reality itself. This brings us to the ultimate question. What does it mean for science and humanity? If the universe is indeed governed by a cosmic consciousness, it suggests a profound shift in how we view our place in the cosmos. We are not just isolated beings in a mechanical universe. We are participants in a vast, interconnected system governed by a universal mind. Our consciousness is not separate from the cosmos. It is part of it, and this universal mind is not some abstract force. It is the very foundation of reality, influencing everything from the smallest particles to the largest galaxies. In conclusion, the latest discoveries in quantum mechanics, field theory, and consciousness are pointing us toward a deeper, more unified understanding of the universe. They suggest that the cosmos is not a random collection of particles, but a conscious, living entity. A universal mind that governs the laws of nature, directs the evolution of the universe, and connects all forms of life. This may not be the traditional concept of God, but it is not so different. The cosmic consciousness and the universal mind are descriptions of the same underlying reality that has been long understood by both science and religion. And as we continue to explore the depths of quantum mechanics, we may find that the universe itself is more alive, more intelligent, and more connected than we ever imagined. The relationship between modern science and the concept of a cosmic consciousness has evolved in intriguing ways, challenging traditional boundaries between science and spirituality. Over centuries, science sought to explain the universe through impersonal laws and mechanistic processes, often disregarding the presence of a higher intelligence or consciousness. Yet, as our understanding of the cosmos deepens, particularly with quantum mechanics and related fields, it becomes increasingly clear that traditional science alone is insufficient to explain the deeper mysteries of existence. Theories such as the holographic principle, panpsychism, quantum consciousness, and quantum field theory suggest that the universe is not a cold mechanical system, but one that may be imbued with consciousness at its very core. The notion of a cosmic consciousness or universal mind is beginning to find resonance within the scientific community, albeit under different names. These theories propose that consciousness is not merely an emergent property of complex life forms, but a fundamental aspect of reality, inherent in all matter, and potentially governing the laws of nature themselves. Modern physics has opened the door to a new paradigm, one in which the universe is interconnected, living, and intelligent, much like the ancient wisdom found in spiritual traditions. From the holographic universe to the Akashic field, the scientific discoveries we are making today are pointing toward the possibility of a universal mind that transcends space and time, governing the behavior of everything from the tiniest particles to the largest cosmic structures. This perspective mirrors many religious and spiritual concepts of God as an omnipresent, intelligent force that sustains and organizes all of existence. As we explore the frontiers of quantum mechanics and consciousness, it becomes apparent that science is not rejecting the idea of a higher intelligence, but is, in many ways, uncovering it in new and profound ways. The discovery of the cosmic consciousness is not the end of the scientific journey, but the beginning of a new chapter, one where science and spirituality may once again converge. This emerging paradigm suggests that the universe is not merely a product of blind, random forces, but a living, conscious entity, a cosmic mind that shapes reality itself. As we continue to unravel the mysteries of quantum theory and the nature of consciousness, we may find that science is indeed discovering the existence of a higher intelligence that governs all things, a force many have called God.